What I'm going to be doing this week is making some apple pie moonshine, so let's get right to it. So every fall I love to make some batches of apple pie moonshine, and every year it seems that my recipes change. If you've never tried apple pie moonshine, I highly suggest giving it a try. It is an awesome drink to have in the fall. The best part about it is you can change the recipe to any way you like. There's so many different ways to make it, so be creative. But for this recipe, I'm going to be putting all the ingredients into some trays. I'm going to put them out on my smoker to let them cook on there, and hopefully we'll see if we get a nice infused smoke flavor into this moonshine. But enough talking about this, let's jump right into it. All right, so we're gonna need a couple trays for this, or if you're not going the smoked route, you can just throw all this stuff right into a nice big pot. Also, if you have a big tray, you might be able to get away with one, but I'm gonna need 2 small trays here. Now, what I'm gonna start off with is some sliced apples. You can use any kind of apples you want, whatever you prefer. I left the core and everything in here. It's not a big deal because everything's gonna get strained in the end. So just go ahead and split up the apples into each tray. Just like that. Now the next ingredient I have is a little bit of sliced ginger. So I'm gonna throw a few slices into each batch here. Next ingredient, I have a nutmeg, a whole nutmeg that I've cracked in half. Put 1 in each. All right, next I have a couple vanilla beans here, and I just split them right down the center like you can see. So throw 1 into each. All right, now the next ingredient is gonna be some cinnamon sticks. Go with 3 or 4 into each tray. I got some brown sugar. I want about a cup of brown sugar into each one of these. So that's it for the dry ingredients. Now we need our liquid ingredients. We're gonna start off with some apple cider. So we're gonna put half a gallon into each side. I'm just eyeballing it. All right. Now next I have some apple juice concentrate. We'll do a can in each side. Now I kind of want to, I'm just going to break up this concentrate a little bit and just mix up any of the sugar that I can right now. As you can see, this is very full, so it's going to be kind of tough. Probably should go with a bigger tray if you can get one. This is not going to be fun to get onto the smoker. That looks pretty good to me. So these smell fantastic already. Now I got my smoker all fired up, so let's go ahead, get these outside, and we'll get them on the smoker. Let's get this moonshine on the grill. So this is going to be a little tough. Set that down like that. And let's get the second one. Perfect. Now we will gently slide that in. I'll close it up and let it smoke. We got that mixture out on the smoker, and you might be thinking, where's the alcohol at? Well, you don't want to add the alcohol before you cook it. The reason for that is you're just going to end up cooking the alcohol out, and you can get a bad taste if you cook the alcohol too long. So the key with this recipe, cook this mixture till it's nice and tasty, then we're gonna add our alcohol later. Really up to you what kind of alcohol you wanna add. You'll see what I'll add later, but for now, I'm gonna try and keep this smoker at 275 degrees because I wanna make sure that that mixture heats up nicely. I'm gonna go out there every half hour or so probably and just slowly give it a stir, try and mix up all that sugar, make sure that all melts. I wanna let this go for probably 2 hours because I wanna give it a really nice chance to get a lot of that smoke flavor. So I'll see you guys out there in about an hour or so when I check on this. 3 hours in on the apple mixture. Let's take a look. So it's looking pretty good. The level has come down just a hair. You can see some of these apples have a nice smoke color on them, so I'm sure that this mixture has a good smoke flavor at this point. Now you can definitely go longer if you want, but I think 3 hours is a good benchmark, so I'm gonna go ahead, pull these off. I'm gonna let them cool down a bit. Then we can get them strained, and then we'll add our alcohol. So I'll see you then. So after I took the apple mixture off the smoker to let it chill, I decided to do a little change of the plans here. What I thought would be best is if I left that mixture to sit overnight to let everything meld together a little bit longer. So what I did here is I took that mixture, I transferred into 2 large jars, and I let these sit in my fridge overnight to let all those flavors meld together. So now all that's left is to strain it, filter it, add our alcohol, and give it a try. So let's get right to it. So I got a nice big jar here I'm hoping I can get all this liquid into. And then I just have a mesh strainer that I'm gonna get all these chunks with. That smells really, really nice. I'm pretty excited about this. So now comes the fun part. Trying to get this strained without making a big mess. Nice, that wasn't bad at all. The problem with this stuff is if you spill it, it is super sticky. All right, let's see if we can go 2 for 2. Slow and steady is the name of the game. Perfect. Now, if I didn't mention, make sure to give these jars a nice shake because you're gonna have a lot of sediment that settles on the bottom. I shook both these before I went and dumped them in here. There we go. Now, I'm sure you could do something with those leftover apples. You know, get creative with them. I've never done anything with them. I usually just chuck them. If you want to save those cinnamon sticks to put into the jar later, that's fine. I usually like to put a fresh cinnamon stick in there, and you'll see what I mean later. All I want to do now is just rinse these jars because there is a little bit of crap in here still. So I'm just going to go ahead and rinse these with water, and I'll be right back. All right, nice and clean. Now, the next step for this, I want to run this through a coffee filter to get a bunch of this sediment cleaned out of here. And don't try this at home. Be a little smarter than me. I'm gonna kind of steady this on top of this jar. And then I'll put this one under here. This is not safe. Let me see if I can get a filter right inside here without using a funnel. This might work. Fold it over the edges. Looking pretty good. All right, let's see how this goes. Now we'll just open this valve. Let it strain. So this looks like it might take a while. So I'm not gonna make you guys sit here. I'll speed this up and I'll see you when it's finished. So let me give you a little recap of the filtration process. It failed miserably. Unless you had like 3 weeks to let this drip and filter, it's just not gonna work. What I tried was a paper towel. Again, worked pretty good for a little bit, but once that paper towel got clogged, it was gonna take forever. So what I did was I took one of the coffee filters and I put a bunch of very tiny holes into it and I drained it that way. It still took quite some time and obviously it's not gonna get all that sediment out of there. Here we have our filtered, somewhat, apple cider mixture and I just let this finish up. Looks like it's done now. So let me get this out of here. So here I got a piece of paper. I'm just gonna jot down a few measurements because I want to be able to calculate what our alcohol percentage is at the end, so we're going to have to do some math. So I got this nice fancy 1,000 milliliter beaker. So I'm going to fill this up, dump it in this big one, count how many times I put it in there so we know how much of this apple cider we actually have in volume. So let's get to that. So I just want to use this funnel at first. This thing is kind of full. Let's get this out of the way because I feel like I'm going to make a mess here. Yes, definitely making a mess. All right, so here we are a little bit over 900 milliliters. What I will do is just dump some of this back in. We'll just get it right to the even 900, a little bit more. And that looks pretty close to me. So we'll go ahead, dump this in our big jar. Then I'm gonna go ahead and mark down 900. Then I'm just gonna repeat this process till I get it all done. All right, so there we go. We got all of the apple cider mixture in here and it came out to 3,575 milliliters. I have it written down here and you'll see it when I do the math. Next step, we're gonna add our liquor into here. So the first thing I like to add is a little whipped cream vodka. I enjoy this. It's an awesome flavor that goes along with this. You're just gonna need a 750 milliliter bottle of it. So let's get this opened up and dump it on in here. So like I said, that's 750 milliliters and that is 30% alcohol by volume, and I've written that down as well. Now next, we're gonna need the strong stuff. This is Everclear. If you can't get your hands on Everclear, you can just go ahead and add a regular vodka or even a 151 rum would be great. But the Everclear is what you want just because it's super, super strong. This stuff is 95% alcohol by volume, which is crazy. And here I have a 1.75 liter bottle, so 1,750 milliliters, and we're gonna use this whole thing. This is supposed to be a moonshine, so we want it strong. Now you just want to give this a mix. And we have quite a bit of moonshine on our hands here. Now I like to keep this in mason jars, it's just got a great look to it. I like to go ahead and just add 1 cinnamon stick into the jar here. Now I'll turn this over here and get it filled up. And there we have it. Ooh, smells pretty strong. So this looks pretty good, but let's go ahead and do some math and see what we got for an actual alcohol percentage on this product. So here are the numbers we have. The equation we're gonna want for this is alcohol content times your liquor volume divided by total volume. Then you will times that by 100 and that will equal your percentage of alcohol. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is our alcohol content for both of these. So we have 30% for the whipped cream vodka, which is 0.3 times 750 milliliters. And then we're going to add the Everclear, which is 0.95 times 1750 milliliters. So this is 225. And this will be 1662.5. We'll add those together and we get 1887.5. So now we take this 1887.5. We're going to divide that by our total volume. So here we're going to add this number, and this number. That will equal 6,075. So we'll take that and we're going to times that by 100. That's going to give us our alcohol volume. So this number rounded is 0.31 times 100. We're going to get 31%. This is your alcohol content right here of your drink. You can use this equation to figure out your mixture. So there's our equation. As you can see, 31% is a pretty strong liquor. You can try drinking this straight if you want. You can also go ahead and mix it with something. If this is too strong for you, go ahead and mix it with some apple cider or apple juice. That's a great option as well. Another thing I like about this stuff is it tastes pretty good if it's warmed up a little bit. Some nice warm apple cider. I got some right here. I'm gonna give this a try and see how it came out. Very strong, for sure. Nice and sweet. Getting a hint of smoke. If you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't be able to taste it. And another thing is that whipped cream vodka adds a nice little touch of flavor. I'm really happy with how this stuff came out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Now, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe right over here. And if you want to see me cook some actual food in a barbecue video, you can check this one out over here. But most importantly, guys, get out there and smoke something good.